Good morning and welcome to the Sunday morning service at the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship in Laguna Beach. My name is Doris Grecki and I will be serving as the worship associate this morning. Our Zoom and audiovisual text today are Don West Jr. and Pam Floodman, and our music will be led by our talented music director, Carol Cole. The land on which we join together today in worship is the ancestral and unceded territory of the Hashman and Tongva tribes. We acknowledge these indigenous peoples as traditional land caretakers who claim their place and act as stewards to protect their ancestral lands and the earth as they have for the past thousands of years. We offer our gratitude to the First Nations for their care of the earth and for their teachings, and with humility, we commit to learning and working on behalf of justice. This morning, we are delighted to welcome to the UUFLB one of our recurring speakers, Reverend Terry LePage. Reverend Dr. Terry LePage loves to inspire people through preaching. She is an ordained minister in the United Church of Christ. Reverend LePage has served as a traditional minister in Southern California. She previously worked as a research chemist. She currently works for the Deep Adaptation Forum and is a member of Irvine United Congregational Church. In 2018, Reverend LePage became active with CLUE, Clergy and Laity United for Economic Justice. She eagerly supports low-wage workers, immigrants, incarcerated people because of Jesus' teachings and example. Reverend LePage lives in Irvine with her husband, Scott Rychnovsky. Reverend Terry is the author of Eye of the Storm, Facing Climate and Social Chaos with Calm and Courage. The book is available at opendoorcommunication.org/I. She will be giving a service titled Giving and Receiving. Thank you, Reverend Terry, for deciding to come back to our church to speak on this topic on the first day of autumn. Each Sunday, anywhere there is a service held in a Unitarian Universalist congregation, a chalice is lit. The flaming chalice is the symbol of our faith. If you have joined us this morning, I invite you to light a chalice within your home as Pam Floodman, please, lights the chalice for us here at UUFLB. I will read the chalice lighting words titled Love is the Center. It was written by Eric Hepburn, a UU from Austin, Texas. We light this flame to remind us, love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature, and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. Thank you, Pam Floodman, for lighting our chalice this morning to begin our time of worship. Throughout the service this morning, if you are here with us in the building, I invite you, if you wish, to come forward and light a candle here in the sanctuary in recognition of whatever you are carrying in your heart as you join us for worship today. At UUFLB, we are a welcoming congregation. Whoever you are, whomever you love, no matter your age or gender, your ancestral or ethnic background, and whatever sincere questions that you bring with you today. We welcome you to our community of mutual caring and serious intent to grow as spiritual and ethical beings. It's such a joy for us to have guests on Sunday mornings. If you are here this morning for the first or second time, we'd like to get to know you. If you are comfortable doing so, would you please stand and share with us your name, where you are from, and what brings you to visit our church today. We will start first with those who are attending by Zoom, and then those who are here in the building. Is there anyone on Zoom that is new? Anyone here that would like to introduce themselves? Oh, we have someone on Zoom.
I'm mute. Hello? Can you hear me? Nope.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, hi, I'm Harley. I live in Vista, California, and I'm just stopping in to say hi.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And is there anyone here in the building that would like to introduce themselves? Okay. Now let's take just a moment to turn to our neighbors for a quick greeting and offer a personal welcome to old and new friends.
That's
How
great.
far are you away from Vista?
Let's see, it's a good, well, Laguna Beach to Oceanside is a good 45 minutes without traffic, I think. So we are about what? Probably from Vista, probably 45, I guess, up to 78, right?
We hope that everyone has a few minutes to stay and enjoy coffee and conversation on our front patio or here in the sanctuary after the service. And if you are visiting this morning, please let us know if you would like to be added to our email mailing list so that you can receive advance notice of each service and other events. Many thanks to everyone at UUFLB who works together each week to create opportunities for us to worship together and to be together in community. Our board, our worship committee, the people who take care of the building and provide beautiful music, and everyone who helps to prepare each week for our Sunday morning worship services and other events, such as Zoom at Noon discussion group. We also know that there are always more opportunities to work together and more to be done. So if you are looking for a way to become more involved, please reach out. For those of you who are new to our community, please connect with us after the service. If you would like to be added to our email mailing list so that you can receive advance notice of each service and other events, there is a clipboard at the back of the sanctuary. Connecting with each other is the way in which we build community as a strong base from which we can go out and make a difference in the world. We have announcements. One is that today we have a cleanup day for the downstairs after service today. All are welcome to help, and any help will be appreciated. Another announcement that I'm aware of is that Don West Jr., our AV tech, and I have started a social media / outreach committee, and we're asking if anybody wants to be part of it. And please mention it to me or talk to him through the Zoom if you would like to join that. We have the normal announcements, like on every Monday we have Zoom at noon, which they have a group of people go on to Zoom and have a conversation. And then we have every first Thursday of the month, we give food to the assisted living ASL, which is the alternative sleeping location. And you can talk to multiple people for information for that. The gathering music was The Four Seasons by Antonio Vivaldi, specifically Autumn. I chose Vivaldi's Four Seasons, Autumn, because today is the first day of autumn, and our service, led by Reverend Terry, is about the harvest and how we can participate thoughtfully and give thanks to what comes with the harvest during these months. We here in SoCal may not see much difference or signs of the season, but we still have the season of harvest. I felt the music was fitting. Our opening hymn this morning is Gather the Spirit, number 347 from our gray hymnal. The lyrics will be on the screen. Please stand if you wish and join with our amazing and talented music director, Carol Cole, in singing Gather the Spirit.
Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame. Witness the mystery of this hour, our trials this light appear all the same. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit of heart and mind, seeds for the sowing are laid in store. Nurture in love and conscience refine with body and spirit. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again. Gather the spirit growing in all, drawn by the moon and fed by the sun, winter to spring and summer to fall, the chorus responding a one. Gather in peace, gather in thanks, gather in sympathy now and then, gather in hope, compassion and strength, gather to celebrate once again.
Let us take a moment to remind ourselves why we come together as a community. I invite you to read these words together when and if it feels right for you. If you wish, please unmute your microphone so that we can feel the power when we join our voices together. The words of the unison affirmation will be on your screens. Please join me in reading. Love is the
Love
spirit
is the spirit of this fellowship,
and service
and service is its
servant
law. This is our great covenant,
all
dwell
together.
together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
We have come to a time in our service to briefly share the important events that have touched our lives in the past week. Our joys, when shared, are magnified. And in sharing our sorrows, we provide the support and care that are vital for all of us in community. During this time of sharing our joys and concerns, we have paused the recording of the service.
It's fine. Okay, we're just getting a few details straightened out here.
The reading that I share with you today is from Robin Wall Kimmerer. The version I'm sharing is from an article in Yes magazine, but she wrote a whole book called Braiding Sweetgrass. Has anybody heard of it? Yeah, it's a truly wonderful book about traditional ecological knowledge and how that might heal a lot of what's wrong with our planet. Here goes. The honorable harvest, a practice both ancient and urgent, applies to every exchange between people and the earth. Its protocol is not written down, but if it were, it would look something like this. Ask permissions of the ones whose lives you seek, plant and animal. Abide by the answer. Never take the first, never take the last. Harvest in a way that minimizes harm. Take only what you need and leave some for others. Use everything that you take. Take only that which is given to you. Share it as the earth has shared with you. Be grateful. And finally, reciprocate the gift. She continues, the honorable harvest is a covenant of reciprocity between humans and the land. This simple list may seem like a quaint prescription for how to pick berries, but it is the root of a sophisticated ethical protocol that could guide us in a time when unbridled exploitation threatens the life that surrounds us. Western economies and institutions enmesh us all in a profoundly dishonorable harvest. Collectively, by assent or by inaction, we have chosen the policies we live by. We can choose again.
It is as much a blessing to be able to give as it is to receive. In this self-governing and self-sustaining community, we recognize that it is a responsibility to do both well. As we approach the time for our offering, we invite you to give what you will for the work of this fellowship that means so much to each of us, that has meant so much to those who came before us, and that will mean so much to those who may join us in the future, and to the work that we can do together. Give what you will, for we are a generous people. Our fellowship depends on the love and the generous contributions from our members. We are empowered by the innumerable gifts of those who join in covenant with us. Time, compassion, humor, and financial contribution, and all of our gifts generously given are needed for this fellowship and for its continued good work in the world. During this time of offering, we will be passing a basket within the fellowship. The information on your screen provides 2 additional ways in which you can give, either electronically or by sending a check to the fellowship. Please. Please join us in singing word to each other words of sincere gratitude. From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live.
From you I receive, to you I give.
We share, and from this we live. From you I receive, to you I give. Together we share, and from this we live.
I'm going to invite you to do a guided meditation now. And it is about giving and receiving with the non-human world. So if you're comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes and just notice your breath for a minute. And notice that every breath you take, every molecule of oxygen you receive came to you from a plant. It's a gift from the earth. Our very lives, our every breath is a gift from the earth. Feel your breath. Feel how your body opens to take in, contracts a little to release. And know that you are not alone. You are part of a vast system of living, of change, of beauty, of mystery. You are not alone. And now, if you can comfortably place the soles of your feet on the ground. I know the chairs are a little tall for some of you. Maybe you can get your toes on the ground, if nothing else. And feel the bottoms of your feet, maybe wiggle your toes. And picture, imagine that your feet have tendrils growing out of them, roots. And those roots pass down through the floor, down through the lower level, down through the foundation, and into the earth. And they discover the wonders that are hidden from us in soil. The creepy crawly creatures that turn dead plant matter into nutrition. The larger creatures that make their home in the soil and come out and eat our fruit in the middle of the day. And finally, the network of fungus that's called the mycelium that connects everything underground with everything else, delivering water from here to there, grabbing nutrients out of solid rock and sending them into the cycle of life, bartering between trees and plants, who will have how much sugar and who will have how much water, keeping the babies alive, sharing the wealth of the happy, healthy trees with the beleaguered trees, communicating in ways that we don't understand and yet are still a part of. Imagine the tendrils of the roots of you mingling with that giving and receiving, being fed, being loved, being supported by the systems that bring us what we need to live. And just take a minute to thank the earth, to thank all the creatures that we can't even see that are bringing us life. As you know, you don't have physical roots. You are not bound to the earth like plants. You are free to dance. But remember that you have real spiritual roots. You are sustained by the earth. The earth is home. The earth is always ready to embrace you. So when you experience trouble, remember to get rooted. So when you're comfortable, open your eyes, and we will continue the service. And I think it's my turn. I'm really glad to be here with you again. Getting my notes in order here. Whoops. Most of you have heard me speak now a number of times, and I have a few recurring themes. I appreciate the chance to come here and reflect on them, get them in order to share with you, and then hear your response. And last time I spoke about enough, and our focus today is really a continuation or an extension of that, giving and receiving. I know y'all have a song about that. We just sung it. It's beautiful. Reciprocal relationships, giving and receiving, can be, should be, sweet and joy-filled. Unfortunately, our culture operates mostly on buying and selling, taking and extracting, rather than giving and receiving. So things are kind of out of balance. Some humans are exploited, and the non-human world is convulsing under human abuse. Climate and social fabrics are unraveling because of taking instead of giving and receiving. I look to traditional cultures for guidance on how to respect and care for the non-human world and each other. And I do this not because it's going to make everything better, but because learning from those who knew how to live in harmony with the earth seems to me the ethical thing to do. Honoring traditional wisdom, honoring care for the earth, is a small step toward righting the great wrongs that we in industrial consumer society have perpetrated on the earth. So cultures that have persisted for hundreds or thousands of years understood that everything is connected to everything else. Human, non-human, every rock and river, we're all intertwined. We're all kin. Reciprocal relations, giving and receiving, are essential to not just our spiritual, but our physical well-being. Scientists who are paying attention are discovering these reciprocal relations all through the non-human world. So is the mycelium new to you, or have you heard about it before? I don't see very many heads nodding that you've heard about it before. It's that underground fungal network in healthy soil that connects trees and plants with water and rocks, nutrients, and with each other. Trees do not stand alone. They have a mutual support network. Even the plant nurseries know that. They inoculate their little pots with spores so that the mycelium will start growing. Scientists are not sure who's calling the shots for this giving and receiving. Is it the plants or is it the fungus? They can't tell. And this is a lovely state of interconnection when you can't tell who's doing the giving and who's doing the receiving. It's just all working together in harmony. Giving and receiving among people tends to call forth generosity and gratitude. The Peruvian elders that I've spoke about before say it this way: the traditional teachings of generosity, of gratitude, and of living in balance that are being lost are very important for our children. It is necessary to recover them. Giving with an open heart is generosity. Receiving calls forth gratitude. These are life-giving spiritual practices as well as very practical advice for living. Because traditional people know that spiritual and practical are not two different things. They are interwoven. I wonder what you learned about giving and receiving when you were growing up. I remember one incident in middle school that stuck with me. A new friend had invited me to her house. Her parents were Hungarian immigrants, very Hungarian, very proud of it. Her mother had grown up in a rural village. Before the visit, my friend warned me, "We have lots of pretty china figurines and other pretty things in our house. Please don't say how much you like something or my mom will give it to you." I'm not sure whether that would have happened. I followed directions. But her mother had taught her that in that village culture, giving was more important than owning. Can you imagine such a thing? Hard to picture in our capitalist greed fest that we are a part of, but this is how many traditional cultures operate. If you don't need it and somebody else wants it, it's theirs. Also, I was told, don't turn down any food she gives you. You have to eat it. Now, this part of traditional cultures we may be more familiar with. A lot of our grandmas did that. And that was never a problem. She was a very good cook, my friend's mother. So I learned a little about giving and receiving in a culture more traditional than mine, and it made an impression. I've counseled people who were struggling to figure out when is a gift truly a gift and when is it just an obligation? You know, like it's expected. Oh, brother. And I'm not sure I know the answer to that, but I know that obligations that don't feel like gifts can be heavy and bitter things, both for the giver and the receiver. And I know a way to turn an obligation into a gift. Marshall Rosenberg, the creator of nonviolent communication, used to say, "Never give me anything unless you can do it with the energy of a child feeding a hungry duck." Can you picture that? Like that's what giving should be. It should delight the giver as well as the receiver. And Marshall meant that in two ways. If we're the receivers, we don't want to make demands on people that make them miserable, that foster drudgery or resentment. So as receivers, we can help that hungry duck energy. But also, if we feel obligated to give, and we ask ourselves, why do I feel obligated? What value of mine is met by giving? If we can't think of anything, we shouldn't give. We should say no. That's allowed. But if we get in touch with the value we meet by giving, and often it's to contribute, to be of service to another person or non-human, and if we get in touch with that value, all of a sudden the obligation is lightened and the gift can feel joyful because it is a joyful thing to contribute to someone else's well-being. Giving with generosity, receiving with gratitude, and then balancing the giving and the receiving. And this will be different for us when we, according to our ability, our age, our circumstances. And it can be hard to get the balance right. Have you ever gone out with friends and had a little disagreement over who should pay the bill? Yeah, who gets to give? What a wonderful problem to have, that you both want to be generous. And can you receive gracefully as well? That's part of it. If you can't receive gracefully, there's something going on there. And don't feel too proud about your ability to give, because we can only give because we have already received. Now, in capitalism, we think we earned it all, but actually we received able bodies or good jobs or accounts with interest or wherever we got our money from. We received. We may have worked hard as well, but also we receive. Many people work hard and get nothing to show for it. So take a wider view, step back into the arms of your mother, the earth, and realize everything we have is a gift from her. In the capitalist way of thinking, our money gives us value, and more is better, and the one with the most wins. We talked about that last time. But people in traditional cultures call that hoarding. And they heap shame on those who practice hoarding. Now, of course, with that mindset, you'll never get ahead, because you'll have to help your whole community get ahead with you. What a concept. In our culture, hoarding is not only legal, it's celebrated. Maybe we can begin to change our culture. Money has its uses, but money makes giving and receiving a business transaction instead of a reciprocal relationship. See, with a transaction, you can just agree on the price and you're done. It's easy if you have the money, and it's impossible if you don't. It's impersonal. Generosity doesn't figure into it. Gratitude, sure, why not? Who cares? When you're done, you walk away. Reciprocal relationships don't require money. They require time and energy and relationship. They have people attached instead of numbers. People you have to check in with and find out what works for them. So reciprocal relationships are actually a lot more work than money transactions. Generosity and gratitude are emotional labor. So let's build our heart muscles to do that kind of labor. That's good work to do, generosity and gratitude. But it's not free. It just doesn't cost money. When you do the work of generosity and gratitude, you have a relationship, a bond of trust, of mutual support. Now let's map all that onto our relationship with the non-human world. What relationship, says modernity? We have a hard enough time managing to have a few reciprocal relationships with people. How exhausting to include non-humans. Okay, I think we need to reframe that, right? How healing and empowering to have reciprocal relationships with the earth and the non-human entities that give us life. How healing and empowering. And yeah, it's work. So back to my friend's house, my friend's traditional mother. We in this industrial consumer society have been invited into the house of our mother, the earth. We live there, in fact. We forgot that we lived here, but we do. And we said, oh, I like that, and I like that, and I like that. And the machinery of global industry has stripped that house bare to please us, and for other reasons. And now they're starting to pry apart the walls of the house. But this is our house. It's the only house we have in to live. We need those walls. We have to stop mindless taking from the earth. And I think that laws are helpful, but I don't know that we will actually get what we need until we change hearts and minds. That is not easy work, but hey, this is what's required. Thinking differently, and it can happen. Traditional cultures live close to the earth, so they're good housekeepers. That's why I want to learn from them. Many so-called hunter-gatherers have actually been truly skilled at what we would call resource management. But it was actually intimate reciprocal relationships with the non-humans among which they lived. They do their best to see that the non-humans, plants, animals, soil, water, that sustain human lives were themselves cared for so that all, human and non-human, could thrive. These skills, that ethic, are what we must somehow restore if we're ever to heal this sick planet. In our own way, let's start practicing the honorable harvest. We will be frustrated. We don't know how. In this culture, we can't do it very well, but we can start and we can explain what we're doing and why. Take only what you need and leave some for others. Take only that which is given to you. That probably means that digging a mine thousands of feet into the earth and driving trucks many stories tall to get the minerals we need to continue our present way of life might not be freely given to us. Just a thought. And then share it as the earth has shared with you. That's a culture shift. Be grateful. Well, that's one we can start right now, every day. And reciprocate the gift. How can we honor the earth? We can't buy her something. She doesn't need a thing. We can love her and care for her in any old way we can figure out how. So imagine if this ethic of taking only what you need was actually practiced. How different would it have been at the grocery store at the beginning of COVID? A teacher I know is teaching the honorable harvest to her art students as a behavioral code for the classroom so that they will stop wasting and hoarding the art supplies that are gifted to that class. Here's more from Robin Wall Kimmerer. What if the honorable harvest were the law of the land, and not just the written law, but the ethics that everyone is expected to accomplish or be shamed? Say, I'm not big on shame, but there's a place for it. And humans, not just plants and animals, this is back to Kimmerer, fulfilled the purpose of supporting the lives of others. What would the world look like if a developer poised to convert a meadow to a shopping mall had first to ask permission of the meadowlarks and the goldenrod and abide by their answer? What if we filled our shopping baskets with only that which is needed and give something back in return? So, what would you like to give to the earth? What do you love to give? Earth doesn't want your money. She wants attention, creativity, love, gratitude, care, and protection. She's been loving and caring for you the whole time, feeding and clothing and housing you, bringing you air and water every day of your life. Here are some final words from Robin Wall Kimmerer inviting us to think about how we can give to the earth. In gratitude, in ceremony, through acts of practical reverence and land stewardship, in fierce defense of the places we love, in art, in science, in song, in gardens, in children, in ballots, in stories of renewal, in creative resistance, in how we spend our money and our precious lives by refusing to be complicit with the forces of ecological destruction. Whatever our gift, we are called to give it and dance for the renewal of the world. Giving and receiving is sacred and practical work the earth needs our gifts. So be it.
Now I welcome you. Our closing hymn this morning is number 311, Let It Be a Dance. The words will be on the screens. Please rise as you are comfortable and join Carol in singing number 311, Let It Be a Dance.
Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Let a dancing song be heard. Play the music, say the word. Then fill the sky with sailing birds. Let it be a dance, let it be a dance, let it be a dance. Learn to follow, learn to lead. Feel the rhythm, feel the need. To reap the harvest, plant the seed. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Everybody turn and spin. Let your body learn to bend. And like a willow with the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. A child is born, the old must die. A time for joy, a time to cry. Take it as it passes by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning star comes out at night. Without the darkness is no light. If nothing's wrong, then nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let the sunshine, let it rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
Now is time for us to extinguish the chalice at the UUFLB, and I invite Reverend Terry.
Love holds you. Love bears witness to all your inherent dignity and worthiness. It witnesses how you try, succeed, and fail, and it does not flinch. Love will not let go. Love holds all of you. In the arms of the earth, let us fearlessly give and receive. And now let us join together in our closing song, Let There Be Peace on Earth.
Let there be this be my solemn vow, to take each moment, live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Have a lovely day.